You are basically a contracted photographer under the main photographer. You are there to represent them and their business. So as a courtesy to them,
we're not gonna start it over. You gonna edit that. You gonna work what you gotta work, and you gonna edit that. When your friend is the videographer, this is what happens.
and Snapchat at the same time.
And Snapchat at the same time. By the way, Snapchat at the QPSC.
There we go. Take 50.
Hey, I'm Latoya Dixon,
I'm Jeanette Brewster.
and today we're going to talk about do's and don'ts of being a second shooter.
So if you don't know, a second shooter is a person who assists the primary photographer at an event, a wedding, or any other photo session that they may have.
So the first do is to meet with the primary photographer before the event.
And one of the reasons why you want to do that is to get the primary photographer's expectations of the day of the shoot.
Another reason why you want to meet before the event is to probably get a sense of the timeline, what the day is going to look like, maybe even names of family members if you're having a wedding.
To get a list of some of the shots that they may want you to get while they're doing other primary shots of the guests.
And another reason why you want to meet primarily with a primary photographer is to get a better understanding of what's going to happen after the event is over.
So that leads us into do number 2, which is to sign a contract.
The reason why you like to sign a contract is, first and foremost, is to protect yourself. You want to make sure you know what the expectations are, whether it be, how much you're getting paid, what you're going to be delivering, how you're delivering them, and what you're going to be able to share, if at all, after the event is over.
Yeah, so contracts are very important, and regardless of whether it's a fellow friend photographer that you've known for years or someone that you've just met for the first time, out of respect for their business and yours, you want to make sure you always get a contract.
So our do number 3 is to always be professional.
Yes, definitely. You don't want to be walking around the event, socializing and having cocktails while your primary photographer is running around doing all the work.
Yeah, you need to remember that you are a professional and you need to be the professional at the event. You're not the wedding guest, so while it's nice to engage and interact with the guests, don't just hang out and chat while your main photographer is shooting away and working.
Exactly. So do number 4 is to be helpful.
Be helpful. So even though you are the second shooter, you may be an assistant, you may be a lighting assistant, you may be a people wrangler, you may need to go grab family members, things like that. So anything that the primary shooter will need, that will be your responsibility to do.
Yeah, so just always be on the lookout for anything that you can do the day of at the event to help your photographer or even the guests. And especially if it's a bride, you want to do anything you can do to keep her stress-free as possible. So if you have to move a table, a chair, hold something, just be available and do it with a smile. Do number 5, sync your camera with your photographer, the primary photographer, and make sure you're shooting in the same format.
The reason you want to do this is it helps your primary photographer or even a photo editor cull through the pictures a lot easier if your times are aligned so that everything is in order. And also you want to shoot in the same format. A lot of photographers do shoot in RAW, but some do shoot in JPEG. You want to make sure that whatever your main photographer is shooting, you're shooting like they are, so that there's no discrepancies or differences among you. So now we're going into the don'ts. Number 1, don't get in the way.
Please stay out of the way. Don't be in the back of your primary photographer's images when they go to look through their photos.
Always be cognizant of where your primary photographer is. That helps, so that when you guys are kind of bouncing off each other, getting different perspectives, that they don't have to redo a shot or try to capture it because you're in the way or another guest is in the way.
Exactly. So don't number 2, don't shamelessly self-promote yourself and give out your business cards.
Don't number 3, don't share anything before the primary photographer does.
It's not your wedding. It's not your event. to don't share anything.
Just wait, just be patient. Most main photographers, you know, if they are, you know, supportive and helpful, they'll let you share your images whenever the time comes. But let them tell you when you can do that. Don't, you know, take it upon yourself to share them before they do.
And also, you just want to be mindful. It could be a case where the photographer or someone else that's a vendor of the event is trying to get the event published and the images published. So you definitely don't want to do anything before that happens. By posting it on your blog or your Facebook page or anything, you want to always wait and let the primary photographer do what they have planned for the event before you share anything.
And also, the main photographer may have a better relationship with the client, and they may know that the client may or may not want those images shared to the public before they view them. So just keep that in mind as well.
And our last don't is 4 don'ts is do not shoot from the same perspective as the primary photographer.
The reason you don't want to do that is because you don't want to make it seem like you're doubling the primary shooter's work. You always want to make sure you get a different angle, use a different lens, just so that you can provide a complete perspective and give a variety of photos for your clients.
So for example, if your primary photographer is catching the bride walking down the aisle, you want to focus on either the groom or even the audience's reaction of what's happening at that moment. That's always shots that people don't normally see because they're focused so much on the bride and the groom. Shooting to learn from other photographers that might have a different style than you.
And it's also a good networking opportunity as well. Not only do you get to work with another photographer, but you also get to see who's out there in the industry, whether, you know, different types of vendors, florists, planners, different venues. So it's always good to be able to build your network as well as building your portfolio.
So get out there, second shoot, put yourself out there, and we'll see you over at the QPSC.
The QPSC.